Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana Midday.
Welcome to NewsLink Indiana Midday. I'm Mia Bloomer. One of Indiana's biggest companies is about to grow even bigger. It's a $27 billion investment for Indianapolis-based Eli Lilly. The maker of blockbuster weight loss and diabetes drugs Zepbound and Mounjaro has announced it will build for new manufacturing plants in the United States. The drug-making giant says 3 of the sites will make active pharmaceutical ingredients, the foundational materials of medicines. The 4th site will make injectable products. Eli Lilly's chief executive officer, David Ricks, says the company wanted to create more manufacturing capacity and add redundancy to strengthen its supply chain. But he also attributed possible political policies as a major contributor to the plans. Ricks emphasized the plan to build the new plants in the U.S. relies on renewal of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which lowered the corporate tax rate in the U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened new tariffs on pharmaceuticals starting as early as April. Teachers' unions are suing the Trump administration's Department of Education after it threatened federal funding of schools that considered race in the most aspects of student life. The lawsuit was filed in Maryland's federal court. It alleges a letter sent by the Department of Education is unconstitutionally vague and infringes on free speech. According to the lawsuit, the letter bans DEI programs, voluntary student groups, and forbids the teaching of race-based topics. It also threatens to withhold funding or take other action against schools that don't comply. The lawsuit also says the Supreme Court has not banned efforts that would advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in education. Tuesday morning, a protest at the University of Cincinnati involving hundreds of students, staff, and community leaders. It was over a state Senate bill that would roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at the school. Deja Gross has more.
This morning, UC students, staff, and community leaders held a second protest, marching and bringing their concerns about rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion to the forefront of the Board of Trustees. They say they wanted to make their voices heard after feeling blindsided by the university's decision.
So if I can get an email, can I get contact information? I'll even use a LinkedIn.
As you can see, this building is surrounded by students. The students don't want that. Listen to the people that are paying to be here, not the people that are writing your check.
You said you would advocate for me. All you're doing is capitulating.
UC President Neville Pinto sent out a statement last Friday saying the rollback comes after President Trump's executive order and a letter from the Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights to eliminate DEI in higher education.
But if it changes it, then we will have to react quickly and may not be able to engage all the groups. But on the SB1 timeline, we will continue to engage you.
Ohio's Senate Bill 1 that passed the Senate and has been introduced to the House committee would eliminate current DEI-related offices, departments, and activities. Today, WCPO 9 News spoke with David Whitehead, president of the NAACP Cincinnati branch, about the impact this will have.
SB1 is in the State House right now. It's right in front of the House of Representatives. People need to call and flood those lines of those representatives. They need to make sure that they're telling them that this is not what we want. We are good how we are when while we're working together. And unless we do that, there's nothing the university can do. The university's hands are tied to finances. The university's hands are tied to whatever the legislation is. So we have to stop it at the legislation level, opposed to protesting to the people that are almost part of the victimization.
On campus, it is your duty to stand with them.
Attorneys for Brian Kohberger, the man accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students 2 years ago, are asking the court to remove the possibility of the death penalty, citing autism. Court documents show a motion was filed this week. A motion to redact or seal newly filed records was also filed Monday. As of early Wednesday, the full documents were not publicly available online, and it was not immediately clear whether Kohberger has been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder or if the defense was seeking a diagnosis. What once started off as a family tradition has turned into an initiative to help this entire community. Over the weekend, one Muncie teen donated over 500 meals to people who needed one. NewsLink Indiana's Amelia Winter reports.
In 2021, Madden Moore lost his wallet while he was out shopping, and his mom made a Facebook post that united the community together to raise enough money for Madden to get back. Instead of keeping the money for himself, he wanted to continue a tradition started by his stepdad by giving back to the community that gave back to him through free rotisserie meals. Even after 4 years, Madden wanted to keep continuing the initiative.
I just remember, I think that feeling of being able to help others and love others where they're at and treat them with kindness is such an incredible thing. And I think that just made me want to do it the next year. And that next year we got volunteers. It was a big thing.
Before delivering the meals, Madden and his team work with different organizations and community leaders to find areas in need of meals donated.
We'll have people that reach out to us saying that they have a need for meals and they have people that are struggling. So it really comes down to experience and just knowing where people are that really need the meals.
However, the chicken giving campaign is not only limited to the Muncie area.
In November, we did 1,000 meals, and we went all over Indiana. We went to Madison County, Hancock County, all sorts of different counties, Marion, Indy, just being able to impact as many people as possible.
Madden plans to continue volunteering and making a positive impact on his community for as long as he can. In Muncie, Amelia Winter, NewsLink, Indiana.
Madden's Chicken Giving campaign will be back next year to donate more meals. To get involved in the campaign, check out Madden's Chicken Giving campaign on Facebook. Let's take a look at today's NewsLink Indiana weather. These are the conditions right now. It's 42 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Expect some afternoon showers today with a high in the mid to upper 50s. Things will cool down a bit in the 7-day forecast. After highs in the 50s for the next couple of days, highs will drop closer to 40 before the next warm-up next week. One person's trash is another woman's treasure. An artist from Maine has traveled the U.S. gathering litter to turn it into something beautiful. Logan Hoffman has the story.
So the trash itself is a portrait of the landscape.
It all started when Bangor native Mariah Reading drove cross-country for a job.
I decided to just pick up as much trash at each national park that I could and then use that trash in order to create art specifically about that park.
Her art has garnered national attention on social media.
I hope that people also see that they can use materials that are right there on the ground, right there in their house.
That's as she's inspired by nature, not only in her artwork, but in her hobby of cold water swimming.
It's just like a normal pool meet, but in, 32-degree water.
Mariah and her friend were on Team USA for this year's Ice Swimming World Championship in Italy.
I did break like 2 world records in my age group, but I was behind another person in my age group. So they were able to claim the world record, but it's still pretty cool.
She has a message for young artists.
If you are doing something from the bottom of your heart and like it's clearly made from passion, others will be attracted to that passion.
Logan Hoffman, WABI News, Bangor.
And that's your NewsLink webcast for today. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to join us tonight at 6:57 on Ball State PBS. And for news anywhere, anytime, go to ballstatedaily.com.